Hey everybody, I'm Clara and this is Heavenly Declarations. So thank you to anyone who has newly subscribed. Thank you for the views and comments, I really enjoy that. So this evening I'm doing a general energy check to look at either your past person or your current person to see, or the person on your mind to see what they might be thinking or feeling. I'm not going to try and make it too long because I'm actually feeling rather unwell, to be quite truthful. The whole of the summer I've been feeling really run down, and I just don't feel myself at all right now. So I'm not going to try and make it too long, but we'll see how it goes. I've shuffled all the decks, and I'm just putting some, I think it's Santa Paolo over him to invoke some positive energy. So we'll start off with a prayer and then we will get into the reading. So we'll start off with the Lover's Oracle and a prayer, and then we'll commence. Heavenly Father, Archangels and Spirit Guides, enter this reading with your white, loving, protective light. Allow me to receive only the clearest and accurate messages for the highest good of whom I read. May I call upon Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Raphael to call upon witness and protect and heal the energies that need protecting and healing. Amen. So, I've seen my life is a mess right now. I have to let you go to find myself. I can't handle this love. This person has to. They've walked away. They've let you go. They've ended the relationship. So this could have been presently, or it could have been, further back down the road. But you're definitely in separation. And this person, they're in a mess, so they're trying to be different. They're trying to sort their life out. But we should see what they'd like to allow you to know. Spirit, what do we need to know here regarding this person? The whole way. Sure, what do we need to know? So I'm not going to take these, but this person works better with their mind and their emotions, so they probably didn't show you too much emotions. I'm hearing air sign. No one understands me but you, but they feel very connected to you, okay? And they felt like the passion was kind of overwhelming for them, okay? And that's because they use their mind rather than their emotions. The way I have treated you was wrong. So they've walked away, okay? And they're trying to figure themselves out. They're a bit of a mess, and they know that the way they treated you wasn't correct, okay? You were right about something. So it could have been they breadcrumbed you, didn't put enough into the relationship, and maybe there was very non-committal, and there may have been other people in their life that they were dealing with, okay? So they know that they didn't really step up to the plate, okay? And you were right. So they may have cheated with somebody you know or somebody close. They definitely hurt you on some level, and you called them out and you were right, okay? And that's another reason why they probably walked away, and now their life is a mess. It's kind of like a consequence of their actions, possibly moving towards someone else. I am blocked. So I'm getting this person's, you've blocked them, but they're also quite emotionally blocked, okay? And they feel lonely, all right? Although they may have moved on and had options and chose someone else, they feel quite blocked emotionally and quite shut down. I'm hearing emotionally stunted, but also they feel blocked from your energy, okay? I wish I could be fully honest with you. Yeah, they weren't fully honest with you, all right? They lied to you, okay? And that's probably another reason why they walked away, because you called them out and they couldn't handle that, okay? I'm afraid to lose you, but they are afraid to lose you, okay? So you're definitely in separation with this person. You could both have each other on block, okay? will this ever change? So it's come out in reverse. So something isn't moving forward here, okay? I can't handle your love. Yeah, you're very pure, okay? And they feel like this situation is not changing. It's not progressing, okay? And I think that's a lot to do with this person. I think they put a lot of blocks on your friendship or relationship, okay? And they know that it's blocked because of the way they treated you, okay? So you could have put your barriers up with this person, okay? And better in my mind than my heart, yeah. And they don't really sit well with emotions, this person. They hide their emotions a lot. But they have been reflecting and they realised that they did treat you badly, okay? And you were right, as it said. So you definitely call them out. You're the kind of person that will just lay things on the line, whether it's, going to hurt or not. You try to bring it with grace, most of the time, in a loving manner when you have to tell the truth. But this person avoided truth, okay? Because they can't be honest with you about something. Okay, so whatever they did to you, they haven't fully told you what it was, right? Let's see what the situation may be. Yeah, so you're definitely cut off from one another, okay? There's a separation here. And the pattern had to stop because it kept just going around and around, okay? This person may feel that you're a twin of theirs. Okay, now I had two candles out. One is still lit, one isn't. Okay, so the flame has kind of gone out for one of you. Okay, here, all right. You're both giving each other the silent treatment. Okay, you're completely different from this person as well. Okay, you're like the polar opposite from each other. But let's see, what's the situation? Somebody was stuck in their ways, okay? With outdated thinking. They kind of were stuck in the way they did things. They were stuck in behaviours that really weren't conducive to your friendship or relationship here, okay? But they're now replaying events over and over. They could have like messages of yours, videos, things like that while you were together, okay? I'm getting they hid your relationship a bit here, okay? Although it was unconditional love, and I think you gave them a lot, all right? Because it says giving and receiving, okay? And I don't feel like they really returned the affection. So you felt that it was best to heal your heart because there could have been, it could have been toxic, okay? There was definitely cracks in the relationship and they possibly made you feel like you weren't enough, okay? But this person is realising that they were wrong, okay? Chasing, codependency, it's come out in reverse. So, I think you stopped kind of chasing this person. I think you let go, okay? Yeah, they backstabbed you somehow, right? So they lied to you, they deceived you, there was a separation. You may have felt like they, bullied you in some way with some kind of attack. And I'm getting with this as well, they really betrayed you somehow, okay? So you just stopped, you had to let go. It says fear of abandonment. So at one point, I think you felt, it was going to be difficult to let this person go, but, you were sick of kind of chasing, okay? I think you just had to kind of energetically break ties and any kind of dependency on this person, because I'm getting there was a back and forth. One would chase, then the other one would, okay? But once you found out that there was some kind of betrayal here, you stopped chasing them, all right? Interest awaiting messages. So I think, you know, it whittled down to the point of just talking on the phone or like a call every now and then or an email, yeah. And the reason why this may have happened was because there was definitely competition, somebody else. So somebody could have been kind of interfering definitely in your relationship, okay, and you're happy single, okay, you're just, you might not be partying, but you're definitely, you know, visiting friends, you're happy being single, you may be visiting family and things like that, okay, to like fill your days and your time and, you know, raise your vibration. But there's definitely somebody that they decided to start talking to, okay, and, you know, they stabbed you in the back for somebody that was in competition with you, okay, another woman who is kind of looking over their shoulder now, okay. So yeah, they may have married somebody else, okay. You may have wanted some kind of lasting commitment with this person, okay, because you're very much devoted to them. But I'm getting your relationship is now blocked because of some kind of union they went into. Yeah, there's some kind of heartbreak here, okay? Although there was a lot of passion, okay, and you had a lot of fun when it was good, and there was equal desire, okay, and you were very happy at one point, but they, you know, I'm getting they went towards something else here, okay, and broke up with you, all right? But energetically, they're feeling very lost, okay, with the breakup. And now you're not chasing them, okay? They're kind of stuck in their head about how they treated you, okay? But deep down, they are afraid to lose you out of their life on some level for good. They don't want that, okay? Even though there may be someone else here, all right? Let's jump into the tarot. Sorry, Harry. Oh. Yeah, there had to be a completion here, okay, for harmony, okay. You had to complete a cycle here with the world, okay. So, you know, you ended up focusing on family, okay, your stability, your future, okay, because you needed completion, all right. You needed to focus on your goals and your accomplishments, okay, to feel wholeness, to feel harmony, to feel fulfilled. Because at one point, I'm getting that you felt kind of fragmented, okay, at a loss, all right. You may have even felt like you were blocked, okay, energetically. Yeah, you know, there had to be a completion of this union, all right. So, I mean, we did see twin flames, so it could most definitely be a high level soulmate or a twin, okay. And you did really at one point really harmonize with this person, have a deep friendship and a relationship with them. There could be a Gemini, okay, and there was trust, but there was a cycle that needed to be complete here. And I'm also getting they completed a cycle with you and then had a choice in love, all right. So they, you know, went and married someone else here, I'm getting, okay. Yeah, they had a choice in love, because the lover's energy can be about choices in love, okay. And they, you know, proposed elsewhere, okay. They went into a new relationship. They could have had a baby with this person, and I think you intuitively picked this up with the Ace of Cups. So they offered their love elsewhere and gone into a union. So I'm getting they possibly lied to you, okay. They may have tried to triangulate you, all right, which caused a lot of heartbreak here. So what did they do to treat you that was bad? What did they do? Why did they treat you wrong? What did they do to treat you wrong? They gave up. So there could have been people that told them to, you know, move on to a marriage, okay. They caused a lot of confrontation, okay. They overwhelmed you. They made you feel like it was best for you to retreat, okay? And you retreated from confrontation, okay, with them and other people, okay? So there could have been a lot of naysayers, people backstabbing, people trying to cause a rift here, okay? But they battered your self-confidence, okay? Because they weren't honest with you and they treated you badly, okay? So they left you feeling like, I'm hearing like you couldn't cope, okay? That there was like an uphill struggle, all right? So you just had to let go, okay? They really, they dampened down your happiness, okay? You know, they really dampened down your happiness here. And what they chose ultimately, okay, they snuck away, okay? They caused a lot of conflict for you. They snuck away with the Seven of Swords and got into a marriage or commitment, okay, with a Queen of Pentacles, possibly, you know, for prosperity, security. They felt it's a practical decision, okay, and they could have also, you know, for wealth, for success, okay, and you know, they could have also been a child, all right, that they may have lied to you about, and they bullied you, okay. They left you feeling very overwhelmed, like you know, you had to stand back, stand down. You know, you ended up, you couldn't deal with the confrontation anymore, okay, and they know they kind of battered you down in some manner, like, you know, emotionally, okay, and possibly mentally, all right? I really hope not physically, but definitely emotionally and mentally, okay? And why are they afraid to lose you? Why are they afraid to lose you? Why are they afraid to lose you? Because they're noticing now that you're very traditional. You're focusing on your family. You may be gaining some form of success or inheritance, okay? They're noticing you're leveling up to the Ten of Pentacles, okay? Yeah, you're definitely leveling up. You're gaining some form of recognition and success. So you've been focusing on your goals, your family, your future, okay? So this person may be quite money-based and now they're afraid to lose you because actually they see that you're kind of winning, okay? You know, you've leveled up somewhat, okay? Yeah, you've definitely, you know, they see that you're having success here. So it could be a King of Pentacles, all right? So this person is definitely freely based, okay? They enjoy prosperity, abundance, security, okay? And they're watching, okay? They're having clarity, they're having an awakening, all right? That actually you could have provided long-term goals and achieved long-term goals with this person, okay? So deep down, they regret the move they made, okay? Because you are most certainly gaining momentum here, okay? You're getting victory, you're getting success, you're going to get some kind of good news, a promotion, you know, you're doing well now, okay? What do they need to be honest about? So you may not have been financially viable when you were with this person, okay? So they went towards a Queen of Pentacles, okay? They wish they could be fully honest with you about a investment that they made, okay? They conformed to a, you know, a legal marriage possibly here, all right? So if they're not married, they're engaged or they're living with someone as a married couple. But this person is definitely in some kind of commitment here, okay? They could have married somebody that was in their community, because we saw the Four of Wands, so it's somebody that was more accepted in their family unit, their community, their friends, okay, their nearest and dearest. They could have married somebody that was in the same religious denomination as them, okay, so you could have like different religious and spiritual opinions, okay. Yeah, they backstabbed you, okay. You know, it came to a complete ending, all right. But this was meant to happen, okay, so that you could move forward. So after some very bad ending and betrayal and backstabbing, okay, you're moving forward. So, you know, your future is set to be bright, okay. You have to do a lot of balancing, okay, and juggling of finances, I'm getting, okay. And this person possibly had to weigh up their options and choices, and they prioritized a commitment elsewhere, okay. I'm also getting with this Seven of Wands, there are people that, as I said earlier, wanted them to move towards something that fitted the bill with the family, friends and the community, because we saw the Four of Wands. Okay, so there was a choice that was made. Okay, and now they're afraid to lose you because they realise that, you know, they could have had some kind of stability here with you. Although, you know, you felt like they've completely backstabbed you. You know, really the relationship's come to a complete collapse, okay, because they stabbed you, you know, they did really stab you in the back. They left you feeling very overwhelmed with the Seven of Wands in reverse. Tell us about this marriage. And there's a definite union here, okay. They feel stuck in this marriage, all right, for sure, okay, but it's self-imposed, okay. So they feel quite restricted to come towards you. They feel very blocked, okay. Yeah, they moved towards something else here, okay. You know, there was an ending and they moved towards, you know, calmer waters that they felt they were going towards, okay. And they did it for contentment, abundance. They felt that their Nine of Cups were being filled emotionally with a commitment elsewhere. They felt that they would have abundance. They felt that it was going to be their wishes come true. So, you know, there was a death of your relationship and they moved towards a commitment, something that was possibly suited to family, friends and their community, okay? But they felt very restricted in that, okay? Tell us more about this marriage. So they do feel unstuck, okay? They feel very blocked. Yeah, they feel quite, they feel like the Hanged Man, okay? They're looking at things differently now. So now that they're in this marriage that they feel very restricted in, okay, they're looking at things very differently and they're gaining wisdom on how stuck they feel, how they place themselves there, okay, for commitment. I'm getting it was what was expected of them here, okay, and they couldn't be honest with you, all right, that, you know, they went into a commitment, okay, so they may have continued to see you for a while and have this marriage hidden, okay, and they're realizing that they would, if they could, they would try to let go of feeling stuck, okay. I'm getting they planned this behind your back, okay. They stepped into some kind of emperor role here, okay, with this Hierophant and Emperor, okay. So they're, you know, maybe looked up to by whomever they're with, or, you know, they may have children, okay. They possibly went into this for financial arrangement, okay, for giving and receiving a return of investment, sharing, okay. So I'm getting kind of like like an arranged marriage, and if it isn't an arranged marriage, it was for monetary gain, because the Ten of Pentacles is here, okay? There's some kind of traditional values this person has, because we have old school that they have to adhere to, okay? And now they feel very stuck. They wish they could surrender it all, but they can't, because one, it's ended with you. They know that you're not going to chase them, okay? And I'm also getting they can't really come towards you as well, okay? But this Emperor is most certainly trying to plan a way to, I'm hearing clear the air with you, okay? Because they are afraid to lose you. I think secretly they would have liked to have this long-term success with you, but they've had to, they've created it elsewhere. Why are they blocked? Why are they so blocked? So they do feel stuck in this arrangement that they're in. If there's definitely a marriage here. Well, there will be a marriage. Why are they feel blocked? Yeah, they had to make a difficult choice, and I'm getting it was because they're sat on concrete, and they're sat on like a concrete path. So I'm getting it's not really about love so much. It was more about tradition, monetary gain, being seen to do the right thing, okay? And they feel very stalemated, okay? They felt like they were making a very difficult choice, but I'm also getting that you felt stalemated and you had to block them, okay? They feel blocked and you had to block them. You had to really put your emotions behind you, and with the swords up, you've got a blind, you don't really want to hear what they have to say, okay? I think you're really just focused on your work, okay? You're making slow and steady progress with work, promotions, money, okay? And this person is having a lot of sleepless nights. They're very depressed, okay? They feel very hopeless because they do feel stuck, and they're also worried that you're going to end up in a long-term relationship elsewhere, okay? Because you two are definitely blocked energetically from one another right now, okay? And I think you had to block this person out. I think you had to push your emotions aside, and I'm getting they push you away to make a decision, okay, based on tradition, values, monetary gain, family values and things like that, okay? I'm hearing citizenship as well for some reason. That's what I'm hearing, it's just a side note, but yeah. I think they blindsided you, okay? So you decided to just keep plodding forward, all right? What was his outdated thinking? I really want to come and tell you the truth, okay? Because you're definitely single, all right? I really want to come and explain about the relationship that they're in, okay? They want to bring some kind of peace. They know that you're going through a state of recovery. You want peace. You're very solitary right now, okay? You're trying to restore a broken heart here, but they would like to bring some truth to you, okay? And they're trying to figure out how to do that while you're focused on yourself, okay? You're enjoying being on your own, okay? And you know that this person moved forwards. You used your intuition, and you know they proposed elsewhere. And I think you also know they feel very stuck. But what's this outdated thinking? Why are they replaying events? I mean, we saw the 9 of Swords, so they did it harsh. They did it quickly, okay? They could have been quite harsh with you, cut you off. I see another one. excuse me, I'm catching another cold. This year, I have nothing but, yeah, they feel very burdened also. But why this outdated thinking? So I really do get that it was something that was expected of them, all right? And I think they went into it for monetary gain and status rather than love, because we don't have any cups out here. They're replaying how they treated you badly and left you feeling very overwhelmed. Okay, so you retreated, you had no choice. They blocked you, it became very stagnant. You figured out that they were in a relationship, and I think still to this day, they haven't fully told you what is going on in their life, okay? And I'm getting with this Page of Swords that they may like watch you online. They, spy on you from a distance. They may have even talked about you, okay, to other people, to gain some kind of a level of information or gain some kind of advice. There may have been gossip, like, because there was naysayers, and I'm getting with this Page of Swords, with the gossip, they decided to retreat with this Page of Swords, okay, and just look from a distance at what you're doing, okay. Yes, they definitely offered love elsewhere, okay. They could have offered love to somebody who was either Queen of Pentacles or a Queen of Swords, okay. Yeah, it was all kind of undercover. There was secrets, but this person caused a lot of, unforeseen problems, drama, that there was some kind of conflict and confrontation with you because, you felt very overwhelmed. They realised they treated you badly, excuse me, got a really runny nose, and, you had to pull back. And they're watching you because they're replaying events, and they spy on you, okay, from occasion, I'm getting, okay, and they would like to bring some level of truth to you, okay, because there's some kind of gossip, okay, that needs to be brought to the front here, okay. And what it is that, they need to tell you the truth about some commitment that they went into. Why are you not chasing them, or why are they not chasing you? Why is it kind of being abandoned? Okay, so there's a level of disconnect here, okay? Why did you stop chasing them? You had to heal yourself. Ultimately, you had to rejuvenate yourself so you could be an Aquarius, okay? You had to really pour back into yourself. You had to balance yourself out. You had to... So I'm getting you ultimately started to feel overwhelmed, and you had to restore your faith, okay, and rebuild you, heal you, okay. And I'm getting, you just focused on money, work, collaborating with people that are going to help level you up, rebuild you, help heal you, people that have like a high vibration here. So you stop chasing this person. You may have wished for movement forward, but it never came, because ultimately behind your healing and you trying to have a lot of faith, they were collaborating with someone else, okay. So they went into a commitment and didn't tell you. They offered a proposal elsewhere, okay. I'm getting this person also sees you as somebody very healing, okay. But, you had to let go of any idea of having this 10 of Cups with this person and remain single, okay? Because, they were collabing with other people. There was a celebration in a community elsewhere, okay? Yeah, and, they married. They got married, okay? They felt they were marrying an Empress energy, okay, as much as that may trigger you, all right? yeah, they offered love elsewhere. They most certainly did. And I'm getting it was for long-term success here, although they're afraid to lose you. I'm getting whomever they married, they have assets, okay? There's a level of families merging, or just people merging here, because they may have known this person prior to you. They may have known that they could achieve this 10 of Pentacles with whomever they married here, okay? But you're single, okay? And yet they, you know, I'm getting they know this person, like families, know friends, okay? Because we sort of thought ones as well. Yeah, they married an Empress energy, okay? Somebody, it doesn't have to be divine feminine, it's just somebody who has leadership. They may have a business together. This person is abundant, okay? And again, they could have had a baby together, okay? They knew they could. There's some level of tradition here, okay? Could have been for religious reasons, monetary reasons, status, community, likability, I'm getting, okay? So it's kind of, it's like a done thing I'm hearing, okay? Although they feel very stuck with this person, okay? And we did see the Lovers, so they felt that it was the right choice, I'm getting, okay? Like family may have said, you know, it's a better thing to do. You may not resonate with their family as such. Your families may have completely different kind of goals and attributes and things like that, okay? They would like to apologize, I'm getting, for juggling you, for the hard choice that they made, okay? And I think they were weighing up their options and their priorities. It was something that they had to prioritize here, okay? So for status, money, wealth, you know, business, home, cars, okay? I'm getting whomever they marry, they marry somebody that could offer them so much more on a 3D level, okay? As triggering as that is, this is what I'm picking up. And although they feel very familiar with you, okay, and they would like to restore some level of connection again, they, you know, they want some form of reunion because they are very nostalgic about you, okay? They feel very familiar with you, but they chose to move forwards, okay, and work on a commitment elsewhere, okay. I'm getting they decided to do that, and it's all about money. I mean, there's a lot of pentacles here, okay. And the only cup we have is that they're heartbroken, thinking about you, okay, would like to apologize, offer you a gift, try to fix where they went wrong, okay, because, you know, you guys fell apart, okay, and they are deep down feeling that upheaval. They're feeling the loss of you, okay, and it could have happened very quickly, okay. Yeah, they want to bring balance, they want to bring clarity, they are feeling the consequences of their actions, okay, because they did walk away from you and they did care about you, okay, but they had to move on, okay. They abandoned you in a really sneaky way here, all right, and it was to level up. It was status, okay. Yeah, and they could have been mean about it, and that's another reason why they want to come back and have some level of restoration with you, because they were sneaky, they lied, okay. They may have even rubbed your nose in it a little bit, okay, and said, you know, they're living their best life, okay. This is definitely monetary based. Whoopsie, they went towards somebody for, you know, status, money, cars, houses, maybe to even within their community, because we saw the four wands as well, to level up somehow in their community, all right? But they ultimately feel stuck. Let's get a couple of these. Yeah, I mean, they got married. They most certainly did, okay? And it's triggering them because they're going round and round and round and round, okay? Let's see what else we may pick up here. So, ultimately, I think you're focused on your money, okay? Yeah. I don't think you wanted to turn your back, but ultimately you really had to, okay? Because you had to drop this cycle with them, okay? So I think they was possibly getting married or had got married and not told you while they were still in some form of relationship with you. You may have just had somebody pass in your family, my condolences, or this person has, okay? Or it's just this, you know, yeah, this relationship ended, you know, it had to come to an end, okay, this romance. But they do miss you, okay? And you may have felt like they just treated you as some kind of like hookup and just want you on a physical level. But you know, they don't want you to turn your back, but you had to, because you were done going round and round, you know, you had to drop the cycle. You know, certainly did. The thing first, you dropped that cycle, okay? Yeah, you dropped this round and round cycle with this person, okay? As hard as it was to turn your back on them, you know, you had to, because, you know, although, you know, you had a, you know, a love for this person, it was triggering, it was a harsh lesson, it was something that was just never going to really move forward other than just go round and round, because they hid a marriage, okay? They hid an investment elsewhere. Yeah, and you know, you've come out as a divine feminine, okay? You know, and you had to turn your back, you had to let them go. And, you know, ultimately, they're feeling like a jackass, okay? Yes, they are. They're feeling like they trapped themselves. They're looking at all angles now and realising that, you know, they deeply don't want to lose you because they feel very familiar, okay? You're this healing energy, okay? They know you're a very divine person, okay? You know, you're very close to Yahweh and Yeshua, okay? And this person may now be kind of angry. They may get in trouble with the law. They may be doing a lot of like drinking, okay? Because at the back of that, twin flames, they've, you know, they lost their twin, okay? And they were arrogant and selfish, but it was kind of, I'm getting it was expected of them in some way, and also for them to level up, okay? So they did it for selfish reasons, all right? For sure. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, they do love you though, okay? But unfortunately, love isn't enough, okay? Yeah, I mean, you know, you may have spent a lot of nice times with them, okay? They may have like had to travel backwards and forwards to see you, but I'm hearing like a hookup, but it was a lie. They wasn't honest, okay? That they went into a marriage elsewhere. Studying. So I'm getting that, you know, you're focused on work, you could be studying, you're leveling up, okay? You're reading a lot, you're focused on you now, okay? You kind of like turn your back and you're just doing you, okay? You may be going back to college, uni, okay? I'm also getting this person kind of watches you from a distance and kind of studies what you do, because that's all they can do. Bad influence. So this person may be hanging around with people that they shouldn't be, okay, and engaging in some bad habits. And I'm getting it's because of the loss of you, all right? I'm also getting with this card that people may have tried to say that you were a bad influence on this person, okay? But whomever they decided to get into some, like, you know, legal commitment with, okay, it's not letting them go. Okay, so they're kind of stuck in whatever relationship they're in, okay? Yeah, they'd like to come and confess stuff to you, okay, about their relationship, maybe drinking too much. I think this person's like engaging in some bad habits to kind of relieve some kind of pain. And they feel like they need to balance things out with you because they did lie. They were dishonest to you. Again, blocked. You know, you may have blocked this person feels blocked from you. You may both be on block, and they feel blocked because they can't come forward, saying, you know, they're stuck in a marriage for sure. Let's see how this person may be presenting themselves. This is the archetype detective. Great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. I'm getting this is your energy. You kind of figured them out, okay? You sussed them out and they lied, okay? So you were looking for, you know, strings of evidence, okay? A mentor, passing on wisdom and refining students' character. So yeah, you could be studying, okay? I think, you know, you're maybe taking guidance from somebody that is, you know, yeah, student. You're definitely doing something here, or about to, okay, that is going to engulf you with this Three of Pentacles. So you're on a learning journey, okay? So you may be become quite close with a lecturer or something like that, who's going to take you under their wing, okay? Because, you know, you're a definite avid learner, okay? You're focused on books, study, growth, okay? So you're going to come across somebody that's going to really help you with leveling up, okay? After you feeling that you were bullied by this person or by people that know them, okay? But yeah, I'm getting this is your energy. You figured this person out, okay? You just wanted truth, all right? And, you know, the truth is that you found out that they were in a different commitment without telling you, I'm getting here, okay? But they do still feel like they need to come tell you some truth, okay? Because they still haven't really told you the whole truth. Enlightened. Yeah, you enlightened yourself, okay? And you're an enlightened person because you're getting to the point of focused on your own money, focused on your goals, your healing, and, you know, you're set to be doing some form of study here, okay, for sure, okay? So I hope that helped. Actually, we'll get one more. We'll get a Romancing Your Love card. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Yeah, I mean, you've let it go, okay, because you realise that you can't be with somebody that is lying and lied about another relationship, okay? So you let go of control issues, as hard as it was, okay? And, you know, this person could have children, and they most certainly went into something because of religious factors here, okay? As much as they're attracted to you and have romantic feelings. But you do need to get to a place of forgiving and learning from this situation. And so does this person. And I do think they are starting to enlighten themselves as well with this hangman energy of realizing how stuck they are now, okay? So I do hope that helped. If it did help and it did resonate, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Bye.